Railway Station for part of the shooting of Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence. So let's begin by talking about the movie. I'd like, very interested in finding out how you actually became involved in this Japanese production.
I was approached to do it by Oshima, the director,
yes.
About 2.5 years ago, as a matter of fact. But Oshi, as I call him, do forgive me, Oshima, has had some great controversial troubles in Japan over the last few years, and wasn't really able to pull much together until this year, when he's just won his court case over the last film he made in the realm of the censors. But he knew he was going to do this one, so he got stuck into it.
And he's had your mind for quite a while.
Yeah,
yes.
And he came to New York, and then he came back and saw me in Elephant Man the other year, and we've been committed to each other, to the project, since that time.
Sure. Your particular role is what?
I play the part of an English-educated New Zealand major called Jack Selliers, who is one of the sub-heroes of the plot. Sure. So it's kind of a psychological war drama.
David, you're a veteran of quite a few movies now. How do you feel about playing parts that other people have created?
I think that's very much the case, that it was already created in Elephant Man. Yes. There was a substantial skeleton for the character. But I think in movies it's very much to the actor's choice. He has a mire of options how he's going to portray the character. So I think it's they're fairly much self-invented. I found that very much so with Oshima's movie, because he gives you such a wide berth in what you want to do and how you want to portray the character. It's very modern cinema. One's allowed to really play around with the script and improvise, and so I think one invents the characters.
Yes, yes.
But on stage, my experience on stage is limited, of course. But the Elephant Man was very much dictated.
Yes, yes. I read that you became a little bored with having to play Merrick for such a long time.
Yes.
Is that an advantage in a film, the fact that you can play a part? Obviously, it's then Brett and Celluloid which will play the part for you forever. And then on. Maybe I've just got a short attention span, but well, I don't know. I think 6 months is a long time anyway. Every night to reinvent the character and try and plumb new depths of feeling out of him. It's almost nigh on impossible after a couple of months to not go back over old familiar ground, psychological ground. And then when you start getting bored with the character, it's the worst thing that happens, because I think it shows. It must show. Do you prefer playing parts in films as opposed to stage work? Obviously, it's not so akin to.
I think two things hold me for films: is that I have a far deeper interest in what happens behind the camera. So yes. I'm sort of half there and half here. I like the process of filmmaking a lot. I enjoy watching how it's done. Great, obvious.
Yes, of course. I'm very interested also.
Pretentious ambitions in that direction.
Christiane F is a movie that's been here recently, and that created quite a lot of buzz. Obviously, apart from the fact that.
How did that get received?
It's very well from what I could see from at least from
It's an extraordinarily depressing subject.
It certainly is. The thing that interests me, though, obviously in this part, for once you were actually a theme virtually in the movie. I mean, obviously a constant factor.
Yes.
That must have created a few hassles, obviously, having to come back and plant yourself in a theme somewhere.
Yeah, I was approached by the people who represented the writer, who's the young girl who now lives somewhere. I don't think I'd better say where she lives. Yes. Who the girl herself had been through those experiences. Was a drug addict at 13, heroin addict. Was living on the streets of Berlin, and I had been one of her favourite artists, so she sort of relied on my records and all that, and I felt very half flattered, half egotistical about it, and wondered which were the right reasons for doing the movie.
Yes.
But I think on the whole, it's the most anti-heroin movie I've come across ever.
Certainly is. You certainly come out.
Alarming statement against heroin.
Fine. Well, let's move on to just one other movie. Obviously, Cat People is the one that's been through here recently, and your song, of course, has gone to #1 and done particularly well.
Yeah.
The thing that interests me with this, though, is that how you actually became involved with Disco King Giorgio Moroder. That seems a very unlikely combination.
Well, that was sort of by the way. I first became involved with Paul Schrader, the director, who is one of my favourite screenwriters. He wrote Raging Bull, Taxi Driver, and he's a fantastic scriptwriter. And this was the second of his major projects he'd done. He did an American Gigolo some time ago.
That's obviously the tie with Marauder as well.
That's how it came through, yes. Marauder had been brought about then. And I saw the film, and I was very impressed at the night level it seems to have. It sort of works in a dream state. I don't think it should be taken in a realistic, literal level, the movie. It feels like the kind of thing that you go through at night. Everything it's a dream state thing.
Which is obviously the way the lyric content works.
Yeah, that's the way I took it lyrically.
Yes.
I hadn't met Marauder before, and it was interesting working with him.